I think we seem to have been doing a very good job at the Federation. And why? Because 95% of that ruling says that our processes were good. We did what the court said and did it properly. You know, these things are rare for a court actually to applaud and stand and say, we told you to do this, and you actually did it and did it well. On the arguments we had about the Sports Act and the registrar, they upheld all of them and gave us our prayers that we don't need to register counties because they're already registered with any federation. And this is going to be helpful not only for football going forward, but also for other federations. This is important. It's a landmark. And then it seems that at some point in the ruling, and this is where we differ with the tribunal, they didn't agree. They say they agreed the code is good, the board is good, but then they turn to the code and say, but inside the code, there's a clause which is not good. Then they should have just said, the code is not good. Because then, that's a problem. So they say that the eligibility criteria we put in for elections was not good. And for that reason, then they would say the elections are not proper, were not proper. We totally disagree. And why do we disagree? The same court asked us to do public participation of this document across the country, a very expensive exercise, for 1 month, and we did it. And they agree in the ruling that the participation was good. And then they turn around and say, even though the people participated, one clause in that document, while the document is good, is not okay. That's one. Two, before we share this document was approved by our National Electoral Committee, was approved by FIFA, and said it meets the threshold, including the eligibility. The court is trying to tell us that we should not have a criteria to do this. And the criteria can only be determined by members and by football and by FIFA, who all were happy with that criteria. And the other reason why we don't agree with them is because we got an election cancelled last year and said, fine, we're not even going to appeal. We're going to go back, we're going to do what they've said, and we did it. When you find that I did 95% correct, what is the right thing to do? You might advise that in future I change, but I think it is wrong for you to cancel an entire election for the second time for such a reason. FKF and myself do not agree with that decision. So what we have done is that we have shared with FIFA this as required, and FIFA are looking at it, and they will come back to us. And once we have a FIFA position, it's going to be very clear. The beauty of all this is that the ruling says I remain in office. The ruling says that the electoral board remains in office. It's a very, very conflicted ruling. He says that our code was proper and to the right standard. That same code has got the clauses which pronounce who is a member, how long they have to be, when they can vote, and when they can be voted in. It says that for you to be president, for example, you must have all documents for Chapter 6 and integrity, for example. That is eligibility. It says for you to be president, you must have been in football for the last 3 years. And why? Because it is avoiding that a stranger who is disconnected from the game, doesn't know that the referee's rules have changed, will become president of FKF and drag them in a direction that is unacceptable. If you're running for FIFA president, the same applies. You have to be active in football in a certain way. Now, this criteria is passed by members. Now, no one was locked out from coming to FKF and declaring candidature. These fellows who are going to court, I can tell you, none of them, maybe except Sam Nyamweya, wanted to run for president. And if they truly wanted to run, our view has been they should have come and then If they are denied a fair opportunity, then they can go and complain. They never came. So how do we even know that you're a candidate? I am here to receive directions from FIFA because that's what our constitution says, and to preserve our game, we receive directives from FIFA. So I'll tell you what we shall do when we receive. When we receive, we will share with everyone in Kenya. This is what FIFA has said. This is a directive, and we shall rally our troops to follow that directive. We shall go back to even the tribunal, and let me say this is what FIFA has said. We shall rally our troops to do and follow that directive.